Welcome.
Sorry
You're at the
about
right
that.
side. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP, and it is going to be a banger of a Friday show. Clock it. Okay.
Clock it.
Wait, which finger is it?
Clock it.
It's the middle one.
Middle finger.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Guys, this is going to be a great Friday. We have JP on Sports Clown World, Christina McInnes. She's running for Ag Commissioner. We're going to talk about SNAP. We're going to talk about sugar and other things.
Chickens.
I don't want to talk about chickens because she doesn't like the kind of chicken cooked the way I like it. And apparently it's not good. Rotisserie chicken.
What's wrong?
I don't know. She wants to talk about chicken.
What's wrong with rotisserie chicken?
I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with rotisserie. I thought you said she doesn't like rotisserie chicken.
No, she wants to put rotisserie chicken on the SNAP eligible foods.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I missed that.
Understood that.
I totally misunderstood that. I am for rotisserie chicken.
You're basically a liar.
I am. Look at me.
I think.
I
Never
messed
mind.
up.
Never mind.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
We're going to move on.
All right. Allison Sinclair, JP, that's the day. Lots to talk about. There's going to be a great montage, but I have a question before. I'll ask my question in a second. How's everybody's Friday so far?
Well, I just got to point out that it is Friday the 13th. Which I don't remember us having this this is our second in. Well, the first one we've had was when Allison was on Epstein Island. So
we did.
whichever one that was.
Yeah, that was. She's back and she's
I
okay.
made it.
Guys, I have a question. Okay, here's the icebreaker, friends in listener land. You answer as well, please. All right. You are going into battle. Okay. Everybody has the same kind of weapon.
Why are you giggling? This sounds serious.
It's a vegetable. What kind of vegetable? Everybody has a vegetable. No fruit, vegetable for their weapon in battle. What vegetable would you choose to do battle with?
Oh.
This is
Easy.
a crazy. You have to duel with a veggie?
Yeah. But it's fair because everybody has vegetables.
You can use the weapon however you want.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. You have complete freedom in as many weapons. If you pick like a potato, you can refresh. Okay. There's no limit to the veggie you pick.
I got mine.
I think I got mine.
Oh my word. Okay.
I got two options.
All right.
A carrot. And you can be like a carrot bow and arrow because it's like got a bit of a point to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Or like a catapult carrot. Like just get a bunch of carrots and catapult them. And it's gonna be like that scene from the movie of all the arrows coming down. It's just a bunch of carrots.
I thought you just had one.
Oh, well, you could
your whole army has
yeah,
carrots.
if we had a vegetable
of
weapon,
You
then
can whittle
carrots.
it
Yeah,
and try and
exactly.
make it. Did you already say that?
No.
Oh, okay.
But like imagine you get an arrow, take off the arrowhead, just stick a carrot on there
Okay.
and pull. Yeah.
No, you can't add anything to it.
We're not adding anything. We're
You're adding an arrow.
Well, no, because
It is the arrow.
It is the arrow.
Yeah, but you said take an arrow and add it
Take
to it.
Take the arrowhead off because the arrowhead is the weapon on an arrow.
So you just.
Oh, you're saying put the carrot on the end of the stick?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you don't have any other appendages to add.
Yeah, because
No, you just have to throw the carrot.
the stick is not the weapon. The carrot is the weapon.
No.
Sinclair, what's yours?
Mine's better.
What's yours?
Y'all are gonna love this. I have two.
Okay.
Okay, the first one is a watermelon. Because wait, you can't add anything to it. But if you could drop it like as they're coming to the gate to cross the moat at the bridge,
Oh, you could take some people out.
you could drop it. Think about a penny from the top of the Empire State Building. If you dropped a watermelon,
They'd be dead.
Yeah.
Real dead.
and you could just
Okay.
the other one.
By the way, that's the one my husband picked. He picked one, and then he said, "But really, I'd like to pick a watermelon." Carry on.
This is thanks to the 7 shots of espresso that I've now had this morning. Y'all need to go ask Senator Garland Gudger. He has to do with this one. Mango.
Oh,
Is that a fruit or a vegetable?
That's a fruit. It's got to be a vegetable.
Why can't
You still need to ask him about it though, because apparently, and he knows well, mangoes have like some sort of something on them, like in the tree. It's like a sap that if you get it on you, it's
stays.
It's like poison ivy.
Oh.
Yeah. So you could just throw a bunch of mangoes covered in sap and then they would be miserable.
Well, I guess that means we'll have to go back around and figure out what fruit we'd use. And yours would be a mango.
Time out. Watermelon's a fruit and nobody said anything.
Oh, you're right. Oh, no, I told Chris he couldn't use a watermelon last night in this family discussion after dinner.
All right, I got to start
That's
over.
so right.
So start over. Okay. All right.
Dang it.
I'm
Need more
picking
coffee.
a rutabaga.
Oh, what?
Do you know what a rutabaga is?
No, a pumpkin's a fruit. Too.
I was just about to ask, is a pumpkin a vegetable?
Well,
No,
we're
it
going to
has
look it up.
seeds.
Look, a rutabaga is a large, sweet root vegetable. It kind of looks like a cross between a sweet potato with a little bit of a red onion. And I feel like you could really chuck it at people, kind of like Will Ferrell in what movie was it?
Elf.
An Elf, where he's doing the snowballs.
Yeah.
But it's me as Will Ferrell with a rutabaga. Pew, 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 and you'd really get people good because it would hurt their head, like knock them out, and then you could get away. See? It's awesome.
And it's
a
fling
little
it.
pointy.
You could fling it, you guys.
That's a good one.
So,
all right,
fruit. What? You haven't told us your vegetable yet.
I can't think. I was about to say cucumber, but that's
Potato?
a fruit too. Yeah, I guess I got to go potato.
Okay. Well, isn't there debate about if potato's a vegetable?
Wait,
No, a potato
what?
it doesn't have seeds.
Let me look
It's
it
a
up.
fruit if it has seeds, which is why a pumpkin and a tomato or seed
Well,
are a fruit.
I
are a
just know
vegetable.
growing up, it's a starch. It's not a vegetable.
I think my son-in-law said he
Corn.
would do a potato.
Corn would be good.
Oh,
You could
corn.
fling corn.
Yes.
Oh, a cob
love
of
corn.
corn.
A cob on the end of an arrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd make a good fighting force, you guys.
Would
Yeah,
we, though?
yes.
Yeah,
Well,
we would.
Well, y'all
We'd start
both
laughing.
let me name a
A
fruit.
fruit.
But then you went off on the mango.
Yeah, you're like, that's a fruit. It's like, oh, wait.
Sorry about the watermelon. Oops. But so we know what fruit you would use.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd use an avocado
As a fruit?
Mm-hmm. It's a good
because
one.
it's got a big,
Yeah, that's like a bullet.
I mean, it would hurt. I feel a little violent though, because I really want to hit people in the face. It's probably not okay. I'm probably not okay.
Take an eyeball out with a avocado seed.
I was gonna say banana, but
That's lame.
I don't know. I mean, a good apple would do damage too, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Hey, and the seeds have cyanide in them, so you could crush up the seeds and feed them to your enemies.
Do they actually?
Yes, that's why you should never eat apple seeds.
Wait, so
Unless you're Johnny.
so if you eat an apple seed,
He
you'll
planted them.
How do we know he didn't eat one?
Well, he lived.
He did. It's true.
allegedly. Can you eat apple seeds and survive?
Well, I mean, yes, you'd have to eat 1 million of them to die, but they do have cyanide in them.
However,
boy
eating
can't
or
survive.
drinking large quantities of ground or crushed seeds can result in cyanide poisoning. A lethal dose is around 50 to 300 milligrams.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
See, so it's like if you could somehow extract the seeds, you would have the weapon of the apple,
Mhm.
and then you could poison them.
One of the top people also asked question was, what happens if I eat 10 apple seeds? And then when you click it down, it just said this could result in cyanide poisoning.
Or you could train yourself by maybe leveling up, have one seed,
Yeah,
then
build-
2 seeds, to kind of build it up so that you're
Yeah.
like an FBI agent or CIA agent in the field, and they inject you with poison, and you're like, This is nothing.
That's the best you got.
I've trained for this.
I don't think you want it. Remember in The Princess Bride
Yes.
where he does that?
Twoo love.
Inconceivable. That was a really good. I thought it was lame when you first said it, but that was actually pretty good.
You figure something out about people with
Yeah.
their answers, and if they know what a fruit or vegetable.
I know. Like, we don't know if we can really count on her. Kidding.
No.
I kid.
Well,
I kid. My
Y'all
husband gave the same answer
only
as you did.
woke up until because we're smart.
It's true.
Something.
No, it's true. Y'all are very similar. It's kind of hilarious. What other fun icebreakers do you have, Sinclair, or questions?
Well, I didn't know. Y'all know my. Okay. Truly, I should have paid more attention in history class in middle school and high school. Okay. History back then, I'm like, and I regret it. So now I prefer to learn my history either through a good, mildly accurate movie or drunk history, which is hysterical. And so last night, Jared and I watched Drunk History, and it was an episode on the Roosevelts.
Oh, we're going to have to watch this.
Did y'all know? I didn't know this. Teddy Roosevelt basically saved football.
Really?
When he was
Wow.
president. This is the weirdest story. Okay. So football I had to look up in
Sorry.
1905, they call it a football crisis because football, you used to not throw the ball. You used to just have to
Chuck it?
No, you just slam. It was more like rugby.
Yeah, it was like rugby.
You like slammed into each other and you had to go 5 yards for a first down. And so you're just like 18 players died in 1905.
Why?
were
Because why did they
156
die?
Well, because if you're just slamming into each other, it's like, what's that thing you showed us where you run towards each other and you just see who can fall? And
Oh, gosh.
yeah, basically that was football. And so there was a Harvard Yale game. They got really, really bloody and like 9 people were carted off and everybody's seriously injured. And apparently Teddy, who was a huge fan of football, called the league was the head of Yale football. So he calls in all these people to the office and he's like, we need to save football and we need to adjust the game to make it safer because they were about to just do away with it. And the Yale guy was like, oh, heck no. Okay. The drunk history is really funny, but basically this is what happened. This is what had happened was he's like, oh, heck no, we're not getting rid of football. You're not changing my game. And he stormed out. And so for 2 years, there was no football
Oh, dear.
until Teddy brought them all back in. And he's like, all right, y'all messing with my favorite pastime. We got to do something. And he said, how about we take the ball and we throw it? And how about we make it 10 yards for a first down? And so everybody was like, yeah, that sounds good. And football came back.
I've never heard that before.
That's amazing. Wow, that was a great retelling of a history story.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Can you imagine if we didn't have SEC football?
No, we wouldn't have.
Yep.
What would we do?
Roosevelt also boxed on the South Lawn in his free time. So
Okay, so this UFC fight is just a throwback to what we
Yeah.
used to do.
just in paying homage to Ted.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ted.
That guy was a man's man, dude.
TR.
Then can I tell y'all what else we did?
What else did you do, Allison?
I don't know why. Hold on, I'm looking this up. Jared started talking to me. Jared mentioned the Muffin Man.
Do you
Okay.
know the Muffin Man. Okay.
I don't even know why we started
The Muffin Man.
talking about
The Muffin Man.
because that's normally what comes up in conversation.
Yeah.
Sure.
But Jared mentioned the Muffin Man, and then Collins and I were on the way to the store. And so Collins mentioned something about, did you know most of the origins of like nursery rhymes are all about death and
Yes.
dying? So we started looking it up, and it is weird stuff. Like Ring Around the Rosie.
Mm-hmm.
It was during the plague, and there, like, if you got the rash that was in a ring, it was a ring.
You're going to die.
and then it was red. And to keep from getting the plague, you would put posies in your pocket because they were supposed to keep the germs away. And then ashes, we all fall down, ashes, because they had to burn everybody that had the plague. And then you die, and then everybody dies. And it was just talking about what was the other one that was
Rockabye Baby.
Oh yeah, Rockabye
The cradle
Baby.
will fall.
Oh yes, and it was what was that one?
It's a
something
bad
about the
one.
war, and then there was one that was London Bridge is falling down
Because it did.
Oh, and it was talking about something about that one. It goes back to child sacrifice. That was I'm gonna have to look that one
That
up.
one makes me feel a little weird.
There's one that I can't think of off the top of my head. There's one that's about like hangings. There's a nursery rhyme about it. And I can't remember which one it is.
Yes.
Let me look up London Bridge is falling down. Anywho,
which nursery rhyme is based off of hanging? Let's see. Oh wait, Rockabye Baby. On the treetop.
Oh, that's not good.
When
When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bow breaks, the cradle will fall. What? This is terrible.
Well, it just shows like how different times were back then.
Well, and isn't it?
I gotta find that.
I just learned from my husband that Tolkien, who was very much a fantasy writer, but based on truth, didn't like Walt Disney because Walt Disney was very light and fluffy, whereas Tolkien was about the light and dark. Speaking of nursery rhymes and fairy tales, Tolkien preferred the realville, he would prefer these things over Disney's reinterpretation of fluffy, happy, silly, because that was reality.
All right, so apparently London Bridge has structural issues, and it says it never actually fell down as the rhyme implied. But one dark theory behind the bridge's longevity maintains that there were bodies encased in its moorings. London Bridge is falling down refers to the use of medieval punishment known as immurement. Immurement is when a person is encased into a room with no openings or exits and left there to die. Immurement was a form of punishment as well as a form of sacrifice. And so the idea was that they had to continue to sacrifice children to the bridge so it wouldn't fall.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That'll put your baby to
Dead
sleep.
Man's Hole is a Victorian era white tiled alcove located under the northern side of London's Tower Bridge. Not the historic London Bridge, but it functioned as a temporary mortuary for bodies washing up from the Thames. So
weird.
This is
and the Pied Piper. Y'all know that one?
No.
That one is I promise we're gonna get to some news. That one is like some guy, the piper that played the flute, came into this village called like Hergel.
Could you just make up the name of the village?
Yeah, this is Herzland. This is drunk history. And so he started playing the flute, and all the kids followed him, and he abducted all the kids because apparently in this little village, all the kids all of a sudden disappeared. And so the flute guy kidnapped him.
That's terrible.
What the heck?
I don't know. I'd have to go back.
Allison.
Yeah, it's weird. And we sing them, so it's kind of like when Flo Rida's whistle is playing on the car with your kids, and you're just singing along, and then you're like, click.
What am I listening to?
Yeah. Those nursery rhymes will get you.
That's interesting.
Okay.
But it's the way, it's the way that they lived.
Should not have brought me more coffee.
They were grounded in reality.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But
they were.
They were better at, they were desensitized to all of that.
There's one about Bloody Mary.
Yeah. Okay. So
not the drink, though.
Are y'all
Queen.
like anti Ouija board people?
Yes.
Like this
Yes.
time?
Yeah.
Do you play with Ouija boards?
No, I never have. But
That was one of the only things my mom said, do not ever touch a Ouija board. And I was like, all right.
Me and Jennifer did once.
And what it
In
said
like
something,
sixth
didn't it?
grade. I don't remember what it said, but I swear neither of us were moving it. I swear.
Yeah, no to Ouija boards.
Mm-mm. That's before we knew better.
JP thinks that's hilarious.
no, I don't. Oh, okay, I'm not advocating for it, but
Yeah, I don't think you.
Mm-mm.
It's like the time we were in Savannah and we did a ghost tour. This was just a few years ago. And I
What did you
really
do?
thought it was funny at first. And then about halfway through, I was like, this is not funny. I should not be here. This is not cool. And then we go to check in we checked in, but when we went back to where we were staying, it was like, they have all the cute little
Mhm,
bed and breakfast,
mhm.
whatever. And come to find out, as we're checking in, the person's like, where have y'all been? And we told him, and they're like, yeah, apparently your room is haunted. Y'all, I swear I slept with a pillow if I slept that night. But I think that's the danger if you just don't want to get in your head.
well,
Yeah.
I find out more every day. It seems how haunted my grandmother's house was growing up.
Did somebody die there?
3 people had died in that. Well, she doesn't live there now, but the house she had when I was growing up. I feel like we talked about this maybe once on air about how
Mhm.
when we were getting the house like ready to be sold, like my uncles did a lot of work to it, and apparently several of my uncles had some experience there. And my brother and I last weekend were talking about it, and he told me a story I didn't even know of, like a plumber that went there one time alone and like called and was like, "I'm never coming back to this house again."
What?
Yeah. She
What
didn't live there.
happened?
It was just like similar stuff. Like she had these massive, heavy wooden doors as the front doors. Like you had to to shut them, and the doors were just like opening and shutting.
Mm.
And he was like, he said, he said, somebody's in this house. I'm not coming back here. But that was the house my grandmother had my whole life growing up, and it was just haunted to the T apparently.
Wow.
I didn't, when we lived in Charleston, we would take ghost tours in carriage rides, but I wasn't who I am now. So I was like, oh, ha, it's funny. But Charlestonians very much believe that there are some restaurants and bed and breakfasts there's a place we like to eat that's apparently haunted, and the lady likes to go on the balcony, and people have seen her. I never saw her, but it's really, I don't want to mess with that.
When we're in Huntsville, we gotta go to Dead Children's Playground.
Oh,
What the heck is
Chris
that?
Shaver needs to tell the story, because that
Dead Children's Playground?
Yes. One of the swings on Dead Children's Playground, when they were there playing, started moving and they ran
Oh yeah.
home.
It's actually, I saw a list. It was
Yes.
rated as the second most haunted place in Alabama.
Yes,
There's
he's seen it.
There's a graveyard right next to it, and there's somehow thought that'd be a good idea to put a playground there. And it's like, apparently you go there at night and the swings.
Can you go there during
Don't
the
go
day?
there at
Yeah.
night.
So did the swing during the day?
No, I think it's like a nighttime thing.
It's at night.
I think people take their kids there during the day.
Yeah, no, it's a nice playground, but don't go at night.
Yeah, don't. I have, but you probably shouldn't.
Don't.
Did it swing?
I didn't actually go down in there. I was like, I'm not.
You're a smart one.
I was not going.
I don't know. I think y'all are on the right side today, but this is kind of off the rails. We will pull it together when we come back.
Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair, and we are joined by Admiral Brian Christine, who is the Assistant Secretary for Health at HHS. And it is a thrill and it is an honor, sir, to have you here. Thank you.
Oh, it's a privilege to be here. It is so fun to have come back home to Sweet Home, Alabama, to come see my family and to do this, to work with y'all, to do this podcast, to help get the messaging out that we need to, so the American people know the good things that we're doing in Washington, the good things that Secretary Kennedy and President Trump are doing. And so as we start off, I have to give a shout out, obviously, to our president and to Secretary Kennedy, because they are working so hard to make this country healthier than she's ever been, to make Americans stronger than we've ever been, to make America great again. So thanks for the opportunity.
So before we jump into those values issues and talking about making our country healthy again, which is such a relief, could you tell those who may not know you or have heard about you, because you are a legend, a little bit about your background?
Sure.
As we jump in.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was born, my father was in the Army. I was born in what used to be West Germany. Now, if you're old enough like me, you remember that one time there was an East and a West Germany during the Cold War. My father was a tanker. In other words, he was in armor in the Army, tanks. And we had a lot of armor assets deployed along the East-West border during that time. I was born in 1963, really the height of the Cold War. So I was born in West Germany. My father ultimately went Special Forces. In his second tour of Vietnam, he was really severely injured, lost an arm and a leg, got out of the military. We ultimately settled in Augusta, Georgia, had some family there. I went to medical school at Emory in Atlanta, and then I came over to UAB for my residency, and that's how I got to Birmingham. I did my residency in urologic surgery, completed my residency, and then I joined a urology group here in Birmingham, and I practiced with that group for 24, 25 years, really subspecializing in men's health. That was kind of my gig. Then I got the call for the nomination to be the Assistant Secretary for Health from President Trump. Went through the confirmation process. Ultimately, was confirmed by the Senate. I was confirmed into this position last November, and here you are. So now I'm in Washington as the Assistant Secretary for Health.
Were you expecting that call? I mean, how does this happen?
Yeah,
you're just like
no, that's a great
Brian
question.
Christine in Birmingham, Alabama, and you get a call that you're the next Rachel Levine. What's her boy name?
Richard.
Richard Levine.
Richard
Levine.
You're
That's
Richard.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes, I am President Trump upgrade from Richard Levine.
We would say
there
so.
We're very grateful
Yes,
for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I really think, listen, I think one of the reasons that President Trump nominated me and that Secretary Kennedy wanted me in the position is because I practiced medicine on the front lines. I was kind of a Main Street doctor. And I think they liked the idea of having someone who really understood medical care and delivery from a Main Street level. Personally, I think also one of the reasons that President Trump wanted me in this position, because there's really not another visual that shows the difference between the horrible Biden administration and the really righteous and good Trump administration, and the fact that you have me in the same position as Levine. I'm a man who wears men's clothing, and that really says all you need to know about the last administration and this administration. For sure.
I always thought he could have done a better job, like zhuzhing it up a little bit. Like it was like he put on some earrings and a dress, and that was it. Like, but we can work a little harder. But I think America, the juxtaposition is overwhelming from what y'all are doing versus what he was doing.
Well, no, exactly. When you look at Levine, I mean, again, his agenda was no question about it. The transgender and minors agenda was so important for him. All he wanted to do was to tell little boys they could be little girls, little girls they could be little boys, and then recommend castrating surgeries, castrating chemicals, hormones, and do irreversible harm to these kids. So if you go back and look at what he talked about, mostly that was it. I mean, Levine advocated for removing any kind of age restriction on transgender treatment in kids. He advocated for those sex-rejecting surgeries. That's what we call them. People say transgender surgery. No, in this administration, we talk about sex-rejecting surgeries and procedures because that's what they are. And that was his big focus, right? I personally believe he was in that position as a statement. I personally believe he was in that position to be an eyepiece, not because he really cared about the health of the country. So I'm really happy to be in this position to be able to reverse and to right so many of the wrongs that the last administration and Levine, perpetrated on the country.
So in this position, you're able to do a lot of good. Could you talk to us about your roles and responsibilities?
Sure. As the Assistant Secretary for Health, you have kind of a three-level role. One is to help form healthcare policy, to work across the different divisions of the Department of Health and Human Services, to work with the CDC and NIH and FDA, and work with HHS leadership to help form healthcare policy. So we help form the policy. We help implement that policy.
Welcome back to The Right Side. We're glad you're with us. So it's finally time. It is Friday. And we are going to continue the merriment today with JP on Sports Clown World. We have an amazing guest at 11 that I completely heard the wrong thing. And I'm excited then that she doesn't want to take away my rotisserie chicken. She wants to add it.
Yes.
Well, you're not on Snap either, so.
I'm not. But I have witnessed SNAP beneficiaries in the grocery store line, and we have to help our friends eat better. So I'm excited to have these conversations. But first, you guys, it's the montage.
For news.
I can tell you that we have confirmed reports that prior to him conducting this act of terrorism, he shouted or stated Allah Akbar, and he was formerly a subject of a FBI investigation in material supporting terrorism.
Came to the facility, breached the facility by driving into it, was engaged by security. We believe there is one individual deceased in the vehicle. It's been complicated because there was some fire, to say the least, with that vehicle.
And I believe we all recognize the fact that we will reach to the kingdom. We will make it to the return of the Messiah, but this will not happen next Thursday.
We know the new so-called not-so-supreme leader is wounded and likely disfigured. He put out a statement yesterday, a weak one, actually, but there was no voice and there was no video.
Secretary, I have to say, it's a first, I'm sure a last as well, that an interviewee's been pulled away to go to the Situation Room. How was the president? Was he stressed?
No, the president is in great spirits. The Iranian mission is proceeding well ahead of schedule, and I could give this team my highest compliment from President Trump to the head of the Joint Chiefs to the Secretary of War. I would say that I would trust my child's life in their hands.
That's
Wow.
weird.
That's
Is that breakfast good, JP?
It is. I had to get a couple bites in during the montage. Yeah.
what you eating
Is that a bacon Gouda
yeah.
from Starbucks?
It is. Yeah.
All
So
right.
for context of the Besant clip, by the way, he was doing the interview and got pulled away to the Situation Room by Trump in the middle of the interview. And when
Live
he-
interview.
Yeah, live during the interview. And when he came back, that was his voice was like trembling almost. It was weird. It was like he was just doing talking points.
It's like he was trying to pull whatever was top of his brain that sounded at least somewhat coherent.
And the Iranian war being ahead of schedule, that's becoming like what was it? They were a bunch of Republicans were saying over and over.
Temporary pain for long-term gain.
That's what the Iranian war is ahead of schedule is one I'm seeing constantly. People are saying like verbatim. So it was almost like he was searching for a talking point, but it was like the president. He said it almost like Trump was like on his deathbed. He's like President Trump is in good spirits. It's like just but I don't know.
What time did that happen?
That time.
I think it was yesterday during the day. It wasn't like a.
Do you think that happened during the time that they found out that school, like we shot the school?
Have they admitted
the children? Yeah, I heard. I don't know. It wasn't Rubio. Somebody admitted it, and it was on probably with Jesse. No, you know who it was? Is John Kennedy admitted it.
Oh, I had to think about that one.
Yeah,
the senator.
Yeah, Senator
JFK
Kennedy admitted it and said, "Look, when this kind of happened, when this thing happens, we need to own it, and it's tragedy." But I wonder if that's when Trump found out for real, and that's why Scott was called away. I don't know, but you're right. He acted. He was odd.
But why do you need the Secretary of the Treasury that quickly over that?
Because there's a global economic crisis right now.
Right.
So I think that with the Strait of Hormuz being closed a lot more effectively than they thought, I think that's why.
Okay.
Yeah. And how they're going to handle it. They Trump announced that we were releasing a ton of our oil reserves, which we spent so much time building up, and now we're unsanctioning Russian oil, so Russia is getting rich off of this. It's not a good situation. Reports are we are we are majorly surprised at how much they are, or how effective they are at being closing the Strait of Hormuz, which is like, that's their card that they play. But I don't think we expected them to be willing to go this far and be as effective as they're being right now.
And yet the person that they replaced Khomeini with, his son, is apparently badly wounded. And so it's going to be interesting to see over the weekend how that plays out, because I think he's at least missing a limb, at least.
Disfigured.
Doesn't seem great for him. So what are they going to do with that? I don't know.
Did y'all see, though, that what he said in his statement? You can say that. I mean, I don't put much, even if he dies, there's somebody behind him and there's somebody behind him. And in his statement, it was basically, we're still coming at you and we have plans. So watch out. There's no backing down.
Yeah.
Regarding oil prices and all that, why are we not, or are we taking the oil from Venezuela? Isn't that the whole point? Are we not using their oil?
I thought we were using their oil.
We are, but also like literally 1/5 of the world's oil goes through the Persian Gulf. So it is an astronomical, like it is a large amount of oil. So it's just not like long term. It's not, the Venezuelan oil in our oil reserves is not going to be enough. Like, but by the way, not just us, everybody.
Yeah, but I don't like, let's take care of us.
Well, yeah, but we're suffering from that too. Like,
I know, but
way more of what we get from the Persian Gulf than what we just brought in from Venezuela. And like, there's a reason I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but there's a reason we've already going to our oil reserves, because this is not a good situation.
What are we at a barrel? No. Can you check that for me?
It's over 100.
And, for us, well, I'm not going to even talk about filling up our cars, but wow, with a bunch of kids on the family payroll still.
Yeah.
Ooh,
it's
got one of the kids calling home going, hey, should I buy a Camry? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, she should.
It's about $100 per barrel right now.
Up from what, when? Can you do?
Oil price.
I mean, I feel like 2 days ago it was $80.
So before the Iranian war, let's see. I'm gonna have to do some digging here.
Okay. Well,
but yeah, it's. I mean, the amount of oil we get from that, not just everybody globally, but like it's not.
Yeah,
they are just sinking tanker or oil vessels, and they are just wrecking havoc. And I don't think we expected that.
This is, as you consider fighting the Iranians, we're a baby country compared to a 2,500-year-old country. And you know what they do for sport? They fight. That's what they do. So
we drink soy lattes.
We drink, that's right.
Jeans.
Soy latte, and complain that we're too much America first and have no idea what time it is. And are still talking about the Sojourner and how that's our job to take care of everybody else's lives instead of getting our own crap straight. Like, it doesn't make any sense against people who know nothing but fighting. They fight.
Yeah. So by the way, before the closure of the strait, it was around $70 a barrel.
Yeah.
And now we're fluctuating between 100 to 120 per barrel.
Cute.
Great.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Kids, fill up. Like now. Okay. Well, with that cheery news, were you guys watching last night when you saw the news about the attack on the synagogue or the Old Dominion shooter?
I preferred Drunk History last night. I missed that.
Were you watching?
I wasn't watching, but I was keeping up, with the updates.
I don't even know how I found out, but I think the thing I was most proud of was that the kids at Old Dominion handled the shooter themselves.
Oh,
What
yes.
do you mean?
They beat him to death with their
Literally.
bare hands.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
They took out their ROTC professor and they managed to kill the shooter themselves and waited with they beat him. Apparently there could have been a knife involved, but the reports this morning on Gateway Pundit said they beat the shooter to death with their bare hands.
Okay, time out. So he had a gun.
Yes.
And what do you mean they took out the ROTC?
The person that was killed at Old Dominion was a professor who happened to be the ROTC leader, instructor, beloved professor.
Okay, so the shooter
took out
And the
the
shooter
ROTC,
took him out.
Okay.
And so the kids, and I don't know if this was an ROTC meeting. I don't know what kind of classroom, but the kids, I think some of whom, I'll have to go back and look at the Gateway story, they took him out. Now, he had an ISIS connection. He was a naturalized citizen, right? Am I saying the right person?
Mhm.
Because there were two.
So the synagogue attack was a Lebanon citizen that was naturalized.
Naturalized.
And-
This guy,
This guy, the Old Dominion shooter, I believe, was in the military.
but yelled Allahu Akbar.
And had ISIS connection, or was investigated for ISIS connections and ISIS support. But yeah, literally the RTC shooters neutralized the threat when he had a gun, and they did it. It's pretty sick.
I'm very proud of them, though I'm very sorry for what they had to endure.
But yet again, more Islamic. It's weird. We're kind of seeing an uptick in that lately. I think there's been 4 in the last couple of weeks, 2 this week.
You think that's weird?
I do.
I think it's very weird.
The timing of it. No, not that it's weird, that it's happening, but weird that they're all happening right now with the Iranian war
and Homeland Security, TSA.
No, it's right on track for what we expect, right?
No, yeah, I'm just weird is probably not the right word, but it's conspicuous.
They're not hiding it. So what's going on?
This is purposeful.
And what is interesting that ties the whole thing together is that we actually have a senator who knows what time it is and has gone viral for his comments about Zoran Mamdani, Muslims praying at the city council and saying the enemy is within the gates. And Tommy Tuberville has received heat for that. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Old Dominion, a synagogue in Michigan, and 2 or 3 other incidents. And you think, no, Tommy Tuberville is exactly right for what he said. And why do people insist on protecting those who wish us harm? How do you not know?
Yeah, I don't even know how that is not everyone's talking point. Like, why, if they were pasty white gingers and doing this, I don't care. You cannot have those people as part of your functioning society if you think you're going to survive as a nation or even as a community. I don't care what color, what religion. We would never tolerate this if it was anyone else, I don't think, besides the disenfranchised. I mean, it's kind of crazy that what we're accepting and allowing to happen in the name of niceness.
Just what
tolerance.
Gavin Newsom said about Tuberville.
Oh,
Gives a
please.
rip. What did the
He just said
say?
Tommy Tuberville. He retweeted Tuberville's tweet that said the enemy's inside the gates, talking about what we talked about yesterday with Zoran, which, by the way, is at 14 million views, 78,000 likes. But Gavin Newsom retweeted it and said Tommy Tuberville proves to the world that a football hitting your head can turn you into a racist piece of. And
That's why Teddy
Congrats,
changed
Tommy.
the rules.
So is there any way, I don't know if we have enough time. Tommy Robinson, y'all remember that guy from England who was in jail for quite some time?
Oh, yeah.
He had an interesting clip and was on the news, and he's putting out a warning for America.
Yeah.
And I know it's probably 2 minutes, but it is, I believe, very pertinent to people like Newsom, anybody else who has a question because we're the ones that have questions. How can you look at what's happening and not understand? It's what Allison said. What they're doing is purposeful. And what they're doing around the country, holding prayer meetings, praying in squares, buying public squares, that is, not a square. Buying up churches, converting them to mosques, standing in front of churches saying, this is going to become a mosque. I found Tommy Robinson's clip. If it's okay, I would love to play that, because you can't. He's got the experience from England, and he's warning Americans.
They pray on rectangles.
They do. You're right.
The average American may not realize that Islam is making massive, and I mean massive, inroads in the UK. Where are we at right now? Because I see the UK as really the front line for the fight in the struggle for Western civilization because of the Islamic advances there.
London's gone, Paris is gone, Berlin's gone. The visuals you think of, they're gone. 33% of London is English. And the warning I bring to America is I'm not going to talk to you about what I've read in a book. I'm going to talk to you about what I saw.
You're living it.
When I was born in 1982, we had one mosque in my hometown. We now have 45. I've seen the decay, I've seen the attack on freedom, but I've also seen the unholy alliance of the left, along with the police, along with the media, along with the Islamists, how they all unite together. And I've witnessed that. The way, I'd say unite together, the left surrender to them, the government surrender to them, politicians surrender to them. So they rule with fear. And fear has paralysed an entire nation, a nation of lions. And the warning I bring to America is this isn't far away now, it's here. I've come and landed in Texas. I've gone to Plano. I've interviewed, I don't know if you've seen the interview I've done.
I have.
So I've sat and met journalists, I've sat and met politicians. I thought it was important to meet everyday American people. And I sat with a couple who have now fled Plano because, and she cries her eyes out. Her grandmother lived there, her mother lived there. She's been forced to leave after harassment by the imported Islamic community. I went to one of these huge compounds. Let's not call it a mosque because it's not, it's an entire community.
It is.
The roads are called Medina Villas. And I've seen this. This is the seed has been planted. You need to understand what has happened to your country over the last 8 years since Joe Biden's opened your borders.
Yeah.
You were used to Hispanic, Mexican immigration. Well, not anymore. Pakistani, Afghani, Somali, they have been brought in. It's planned. Ask yourself this as an American audience. Why have Somalians come from the hottest place in the world and found themselves in Minnesota, the coldest place in America? They haven't chose to go there. They've been put there. Your borders have been opened. Your country's been flooded. 700%. Legal immigration went up 700% in your swing states. They don't want there to ever be a swing state. They were changing the demographic of the vote bank. Now, I've seen how this operates, and I've seen the power of it.
That'll hit you. That is powerful.
And so wouldn't it be great if one of the things that our show goes to the mat for is raising awareness and fighting back? Because if not us, who's going to do it? I mean, we know they rule with fear. We know people are terrified to speak out about it. We know we've had callers, we have great listeners who've told us about the Medina strategy and the Mecca strategy. These people are not your friends. I'm sorry, they're not. Look on the interwebs to see what they're saying. They are here to dominate and subjugate everywhere they've gone. And we had them imported by Obama and Biden. Started with Obama when nobody was really noticing. And under Biden, it reached epic proportions. And now they've committed fraud to the tune of $9 billion in Minnesota. And they act shocked that we're like, nah, you got to go. And how has our administration responded? We should probably tamp down the immigration talk before midterms.
Yeah, it'll radicalize you. But if you think about it, 15 years ago was 9/11 in New York City, and then now we've got a Muslim mayor doing what he did in the city council.
I haven't even thought about 9/11.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's crazy, and we just have to reach a certain point as Christians where our suicidal empathy takes a back seat when you realize they are literally destroying your way of life. And we don't have to live this way where we have 4 terrorist attacks in 2 weeks by Islamic terrorist related, folks. Like, we don't have to live like that. They don't have to be here. And then allegedly, we know where half of them are, we think, in terms of sleeper cells. Well, how about you get them out, it's insane to me but not just us, like Europe, Western Europe is gone at this point, it seems like. And you wonder if there's even a way to reverse that at this point, but it's all because of, like we talked about yesterday, the collectivism with Islam, and they just, if you're not individually strong and able to have a backbone against that, like Western Europe hasn't, and unfortunately a lot of Americans don't, then you're just going to be overrun, and their way of life is going to win. So, and that, by the way, their way of life, just take a look into it. It's not compatible with Western civilization. Sharia law is not. So until we have the guts and the backbone to actually express that and do something about it, then we're just going to be overwhelmed. And I think the proper word is conquered.
Yikes. We thought it could never happen. I mean, genuinely, I think we were naive, and that's why we're here. We think we'll always be America. What could go wrong?
True. It's very true. It's very sobering, but we have to be sober about it. While we still have a chance, like we have a chance still, and we will be called names. You will be called names.
Yeah.
But we have a responsibility for those of us who know the truth, the way, the truth, and the life. If we know that, then we only have one choice. And that's to stand for and fight for the truth. Which means you're fighting for your fellow citizens.
We could use some help.
We could use some help. We need a lot of help.
By the way, I don't know. This may be a tinfoil hat of me, but I'm just going to lob this out there. So ISIS is not Iran, right? So the Iranian sleeper cells, whatever. If the last couple of attacks have been ISIS related, like it seems to be, then I don't see a direct correlation between Iran and those. However, there's evidence there that ISIS was a CIA Mossad creation. And if you're trying to stir up support on the home front for something in the Middle East, and people don't necessarily know their homework in terms of the different groups in the Middle East, like Hezbollah, Hamas, like they're all different. If there's a ISIS being CIA Mossad originated, and they're being used on the home front to try to maybe cause chaos or have a 9/11 style attack, because this war is extremely unpopular. How do you gain popular support? You have a 9/11 sort of issue. So I'm not saying that's necessarily true, but the timing of it, and this is why I was kind of meaning when it's conspicuous.
Okay, I get you now. Yeah.
And it kind of seems intentional for,
to push an agenda.
It'd be one thing if they were Hezbollah or whatever, then okay, that's Iran, but ISIS is not. And we've seen a lot of those the last couple of weeks.
Mike Benz, Benz. Mike Benz is the guy you want to follow or date a Republican. But Mike Benz has had some podcast and information. He is a tech guy. He was a whistleblower for the government. Go follow him if you want to follow down what JP has said. Just type those kinds of things in. Who started ISIS? Who originally supplied the weapons to them? You may be surprised. Mike Benz.
Yeah, that's great because it's not us. We didn't say it.
We didn't say he said it.
Mike did.
Mike said it. And Mike's not a guy you want to mess with, but it's very interesting if you want to check it out.
We are going to take a break and we will be back with Christina McGinnis.
Y'all have heard us talk about Inspire Advisors, how Paul Breyer and his team at Inspire Advisors will help you grow your investment portfolio while also screening out companies that don't stand for conservative Christian principles.
Paul and his team are experts on what they call biblically responsible investing. And for a limited time, they're hosting a free class that you can register for.
Check out the class and register for free at moneypatternwealth.com. It's godly, it's conservative, and it's financial freedom.
Again, go to Inspire Advisors at moneypatternwealth.com. Check them out and tell them you heard about them at Rightside Radio.
Also a communication role, which really appeals to me, in that we help to communicate the policy to healthcare establishments, healthcare providers, and to the country at large. Okay, the Surgeon General falls under the Assistant Secretary for Health. So when we have our new Surgeon General in, and I'm happy to say that Dr. Casey Means will be having her hearing before the Senate on the 25th of this month, I believe. She'll be an amazing Surgeon General. We're going to work so well together. But together, we'll be advancing the message of the Department of Health and Human Services and President Trump to the American people. So there's that communication aspect to the role. And then also, the Assistant Secretary for Health can serve as a civilian, or they can do as I did, which is request commission from the President. So I have been commissioned as the senior admiral at the Public Health Service, specifically the Commission Corps. So you have the U.S. Public Health Service, and then you have something called the Commission Corps, and these are commissioned officers. I'm a 4-star admiral. I lead the Commission Corps. And so one of the other roles I have is as a flag officer, an admiral, is to lead the Commission Corps of the Public Health Service. And that's about 5,400 doctors, nurses, pharmacists, therapists. Believe it or not, we've got a few veterinarians in there as well,
Wow.
dentists, dermatologists. We are Secretary Kennedy's tip of the spear strike force for public health initiatives. And it's really a privilege to wear this uniform. It's a privilege to receive the salutes that I receive from other members of other uniformed services and my own officers. To wear this uniform is a privilege, but that's a big part of what I do, is to lead the Commission Corps, because we really are the edge of the knife, the tip of the spear for public health in the United States. And I have officers deployed other parts of the world as well, primarily in the U.S. We work at Guantanamo Bay, for instance. We work with ICE agencies. We work with DHS. We supply doctors and nurses to the Indian Health Service, which is a big role. We have officers that work at FDA, work at CDC. They're out in community health centers. So we're all over the place, but that's part of my role as well.
Wow.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
I had no idea.
It's a lot of people. And these officers, these are good men and women. These are good men and women who want to serve, who care about this country. And one of the things I have been told by officer after officer is they said, we are so happy that we have a new Assistant Secretary for Health. We're demoralized by our prior Assistant Secretary because we knew he didn't really care about us. He put the uniform on as a political stunt. Brian, you wear the uniform because you care about the country and you want to serve the President and the Secretary.
So going into this role, like, you're just kind of starting. If now, and hopefully we'll do an interview as you're leaving and we can reassess, but give us your top 3, like, these are the things that I definitely want to get done while I'm here. What would those be?
Yeah, and so my agenda is, of course, Secretary Kennedy's agenda and the President's agenda. We all work for the President. He's the Commander-in-Chief. I work with Secretary Kennedy as we both serve the President and serve the people. And so the things that are really important to us at the Department of Health and Human Services, we know that affordability of health care, affordability of drugs, making sure we have good health care delivered to everybody, whether it be in a city or in these rural environments, that is something incredibly important to the President and the Secretary and myself. Also, we have our values issues. In other words, and we can talk about this, right to life issues, respect for the dignity of every man, woman, and child in this country. That's incredibly important to us. Taking care of men, taking care of women, that's important. So affordability, these values issues, and doing everything so different from the last administration and the last Department of Health and Human Services. We absolutely are guided by science. That's something that Secretary Kennedy has said again and again. We are guided by gold standard science, and we use that science to form policy and to do things that are going to make America healthier than she's ever been.
Okay, but Dr. Fauci says he is science. So are we Dr. Fauci science, or are we, like, how do you...
Are we science?
We are science. We are science. Listen, people can think what they want about Dr. Fauci. I prefer not to think about Dr. Fauci. I don't have much regard or respect for that individual. But who I do have regard and respect for are RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Jay Bhattacharya, Dr. Bhattacharya, who was so incredibly strong during the COVID pandemic. He leads the NIH, the National Institutes of Health. I have respect for Dr. Oz, Mehmet Oz, who heads up CMS, Medicare and Medicaid. He is amazingly brilliant, amazingly committed to this country. We have
Welcome back to The Right Side. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. We are so glad to be joined by Christina McInnes, who is running for the Commissioner of Agriculture and Industries. And we had the chance to see you from a distance the other night at the State Executive Committee reception. But you are running for such an interesting office that does a lot. How about tell us first a little bit about yourself and why you're running?
So first off, thanks, of course, for being here. And thank you for drawing attention to the number one industry in the state of Alabama, agriculture. My family kicked off this year with 120 years of farming. So my family came down here in 1906. I'm a fifth generation. I have 4 children married to Tim McInnes. He builds bridges. He's the bridge builder. I'm the farmer. But what you need to know, and I even have this little cheat sheet, I mean, you've got to know that agriculture is a $77.3 billion economic impact for the state of Alabama. It is 1 out of 10 jobs.
No idea.
It is what Alabama does great. I am telling you, this is probably one of the most important roles in the state of Alabama, of course, besides the governor. But now let's talk about a little bit, born and raised in Alberta. Went to Foley High School, then to Auburn. Funny enough story. Yes, I worked for Coach. I was his Tiger tutor when I was at Auburn University.
What's a Tiger tutor?
Well, when you're really smart, Coach will have you tutor his football players. And I would tell the football players, I'm only here to see you in the library on Wednesdays. I'm not coming out to the field to watch you get hurt on Saturdays.
Oh, well, okay. So you helped the program immensely. Thank you.
Yes. And so after that, I'm with the Warner family. We are in the Southeast. We grow a lot of turf grass. I have 2 farms in Florida, farms in Alabama. We operate in Louisiana, Mississippi, and I have a farm out in Colorado. We have a store out there too. So on top of that, I also power Lowe's and SiteOne nationally under their brands, Stay Green and Let's Go. So I do their ag technology software. It was really funny. They had a whole making it with Lowe's, and I had to go before Damon John of Shark Tank.
Oh my goodness.
And the CEO of Lowe's. And I came in number 2 in the nation. And they said that I was able to accomplish something they've always wanted to do, but not been able to do. So I power Lowe's and SiteOne nationally, but I also grow a lot of great turf grass. Happy to give you some advice on your Bermuda and Zoysia later.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Jared
Thanks.
Sinclair will give you a call. That is yes, him and his dad. Zoysia, if I don't even know what the difference is. You could educate us. So you grew up in farming, and then why it's a natural progression for you, but running for statewide office is no joke. So what made you actually put yourself out there?
So what started really the initiation, I got appointed for City of Orange Beach to be the commissioner. And I told Mayor Ken, I don't know if you've ever met him, but down at Orange Beach, we've got a great mayor. And he said, I need you to serve. And I said, you got the wrong person. He said, no, you're a developer, you're a businesswoman. And you also come at it with a perspective that a lot of us don't have as a mom and as a woman. And I said, I very much respect that. Served, loved it. And so at that point, I realized that at some point I'm going to turn and give my talents to public service. So when Coach and Commissioner Pate, the current ag commissioner, asked me to sit at the round table for the Farm Bill, which is such an incredibly important federal policy for our state, we were sitting there and it was, the feral pigs and workforce, which are huge problems. But I wanted to know about what everyone was doing in the future, because you're talking about a policy that you build as you're writing it. It's good for 10 years. So we're operating on a really, really old farm bill right now, even to the point that we had to do the one big, beautiful bill just to kind of band-aid some things. So anyway, and right now you can see where there's one that's been drafted and passing around. Super excited to kind of see that progress. So when we were sitting there, I said, this is what I'm good at. I'm really, really smart with ag policy. And I need to use my skill sets to help Alabama farmers, because we have been blessed to be a very successful, sustainable, I'm 5th generation farming. That's almost unheard of in the nation now. We even have a store over on 280 up here in Birmingham. But we balanced it with talents of women, children, and our whole family, each of us bringing different talents. So when I sat there, I said, who's using AI right now? Is anybody successful in any kind of carbon credits? what is the next generation of specialty crops look like for us? How are we going to increase our center pivot production? And there were so many unanswered questions. I left that day and I said, it's time for me to step up and serve.
Mhm.
I'm going to use what I'm good at, what I've been built by my family, but I want to bring it to the state of Alabama and have a voice at the nation.
Mhm. So would you say, just speaking about farmers and farming, I've heard over the years, I know another family that are farming and they are farming in the Midwest,
Mhm.
that, and maybe the big beautiful bill and band-aiding that will help, but they feel a little bit held back by policy. Is that still true?
So in general, I'll tell you this, when you talk to farmers, things are bad out there right now. They're
Okay.
bad. We have other countries who can do it for a whole lot cheaper. And when you look at it, they don't have all the different rules and regulations that we have. And so, and also on top of it, they'll have 2 growing seasons where we only have 1. So there is a competitive advantage out there that we have to, and so that's why it's critically important that we fight to protect the U.S. farmers and then the next generation. But even more so, one thing I really want to drive home to everybody that looks at this ag commissioner, this office touches every Alabamian every day.
Mm.
I had my son come home
Point.
from school. He goes to public school and he came home and goes, Mom, the teacher said something today that you're going to be over our classroom cafeteria, the public school nutrition. And Mama, please don't make this lunch any worse than it is because all my friends are going to tell me about it. This office is in the grocery stores, it's at the gas pumps, it's in the public school systems. Just last year, we're very proud of what the department has been. Commissioner Pate, he bought 3 million servings of Alabama produce and food to the public school systems for our children.
Mm.
We are building that. We have to go off of what RFK and Brooke Rollins, Secretary Brooke Rollins, Trump's appointed secretary, we have to start eating real food.
Yes.
Guess who produces real food? The
Alabama
farmers here in
does.
Alabama.
Mm.
We've got to protect our farmers. We have to turn to them and say, we need you. And so when I met with Brooke Rollins and we were going over this, which is probably some of the reason I'm here, she said, with every decision I'm faced with, she said, I asked myself 2 questions. Is this good for the U.S. farmer? And is this good for our children? The Farm Bill, which is $123 billion, 80% is SNAP. 80%.
Wow.
Okay. There's no
What?
farm left in the Farm Bill. So when you're talking about policy and farmers in the Midwest, here you've got this big Farm Bill.
80%.
And then on top of it, you would think, okay, well, we're feeding our children nutritious foods, the most needy families and children, but we're doing it by putting money into the pockets of our farmers. We're not.
Mm.
So the number one commodity is energy drinks and soda at $15 billion. And then you stand behind a mom buying energy drinks, margarita mixes.
Mhm.
But yet here I am visiting with poultry farmers, which we're number 2 in the nation for. You always protect your golden goose. Okay. Poultry, timber is of course number 1. I've got some of these, but look, poultry and egg produces 47,000 jobs in the state of Alabama. It's a $19 billion economic impact. So go to one of your golden eggs besides timber,
Wow.
second in line, and you look at these farmers closing up their houses and they're saying, we just can't make it anymore. But yet we can't put the poultry, the rotisserie chicken on SNAP so that that's good for our farmers and that's good for our families. And the reason that's important, Alabama, we're higher than the national average on SNAP. We have a 15% population on SNAP. And so my daughter came up with this slogan, Snap the Chicken. You've got Arkansas, you got Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She's added rotisserie chicken. You got Tennessee doing it. Why? Because they're poultry country, but they also want to do what's best for their children. And so that's where I've really challenged our state and our constituents to say, you know what, let's really, let's take a look at what we're really spending our dollars on. Is it really best to say you can spend tax dollars on margarita mixes and energy drinks? Or is it best that we take that Alabama chicken who has a value add process to it, to rotisserie chicken, that's sitting at the Greer's or the Piggly Wiggly, and that mom is going in, which I know because I work in rural Alabama. She goes in after she's finished. She's a single mom. She's got 3 kids and she's doing all she can to hold it together. We survive off rotisserie chickens as working moms and families in this state.
Mhm.
So I really challenge us to look at it right now with just one eye. Let's snap the chicken. Let's really take care of the farmers, take care of our kids, and then we'll move on and continue to make positive changes that are good for our state.
I just want to pause and say, so you're saying, and no offense, JP, because I know you love your monsters.
Oh, sorry.
But you're saying that someone on SNAP, aka food stamps, that's how I can remember the little booklets. Y'all remember the little
Yes,
booklets?
I do.
Okay, I remember that growing up. Can go in and buy a bunch of monsters, but they can't buy a rotisserie chicken.
100, and it happened directly in front of me at the store. And that's how I found out about it. I said, and by the way, go buy it with your own dollar. Don't, I still drink my Diet Cokes. We all.
And I'm aware of what I'm drinking.
Yeah.
It's a risk I take.
It's okay. That's not part of the discussion. I wanted you to know we don't judge. But the point is, that's insane.
It is. But what happens is we've created policies that have gotten outdated. Okay. And you have all these other states who are dropping waivers. And then I watch Secretary Brooke Rollins and RFK get on and cheer these 22 states who have done it. And I turn around in Alabama and we can't get off the floor with it. Why?
Why?
Makes no sense.
But why?
I think Alabama, we need to step up and start asking. Number one, educate, say this exists. And number two, this matters. Be the voice for the most needy in this state. And I think when you're looking at that surviving mom sitting in the grocery store, she doesn't have time to call up her legislators and call up Montgomery and say, this matters to my family. They don't have time. They're in survival mode.
Tell us about there are two separate bills floating out there. I think one just passed. Did the soda and candy one, didn't it pass the Senate?
I don't think so. I'd have to go back and look. Things have been moving around and I've been on the road. I don't believe the one taking off or the one adding, which is the rotisserie, I don't believe they've gotten any traction this legislative session.
The one taking off removes candy and soda for...
Which, by the way, we tried to do years ago. I think
Yeah,
2
I
or 3
remember
years
that.
ago. And it never got off the ground either. And so now we're trying it again. And mind you, sometimes it's timing. Okay. And it's and so now you've got RFK and you have Brooke Rollins who are really trying to get the rest of the nation behind us. And these other states are folding in. It makes it easier to say, well, hey, look what Arkansas did. Hey, look what these other 22 states have done. Why are we one of the last states that allow the energy side of it?
Yeah.
So there's a bill. This is what I want to get to. There's a bill. Was it filed in the House?
I believe so.
Okay. He's a senator.
He's taking off.
Okay. Who's carrying the rotisserie chicken bill?
Donna represent. Okay. So I got to ask why Donna. Someone said, why did you give that bill to Donna? And I said, well, because I'm in 67 counties. I start at 4 a.m. in the morning and I get back at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I get a couple hours of sleep. And what I did is I have a great relationship with my local representative, Donna
Givens.
Yes, Donna Givens. And I said, Donna, I'm like, look at this bill. Other states are doing it. And this is good for farmers. This is good for our children. And she said, got it. I'm taking it.
Okay.
And so she has it currently. It's sitting in Montgomery. But again, I'm kind of running all over the state. So it's hard for me to kind of keep my thumb on the pulse of what's going on.
And all it says is we would like to add rotisserie chicken to the SNAP.
It's a singular item.
We would really like to continue to bring that up and help. Because that doesn't make any sense at all.
Snap the
But
chicken.
I'm like you, though. I've seen women doing their best, but their cart is filled with what my husband's a gastroenterologist. So food is a big deal. And you think there's no way you're going to live a healthy life based on what we just subsidized in your cart.
75% of our children are clinically obese on our SNAP program. How are we taking care of our children right now? 75, 3/4.
Okay. These are the things, the sectors of life you never really think about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked. That's almost
it's criminal.
We can
Evil.
do better.
We can do so much better. And not only can we do better, but you can have an instant hand in what our kids are fed at school because it's it tastes bad. It looks bad. They would really probably, because of the initiatives that, like even the little kids shows that they watch about eating whole foods, eating fresh food, they'd be so happy if they went into their school cafeteria and the food looked appetizing. and fresh. It's not hard.
I watched a farmer from East Alabama, couldn't make it in the poultry. He converted it to a hydroponic lettuce greenhouse, Mr. Ferguson. He is now, his family, he's passed on. His family now transports that hydroponic lettuce to the local school system for the salad bar. Tell me, how much better can you get than that right there?
You can't. It is criminal when you look at what they serve, like in Italy or France, you know, in their public schools and all the fresh vegetables and it's absurd. And that we can't get rotisserie chicken, but we'll give you your Twizzlers.
Oh, hey.
And your Oreos is crazy. Well, okay. How can people find out about your campaign if they want to follow along with you? Any events coming up?
Oh goodness. I follow the Facebook page.
Follow the Facebook,
McInnes
which is
Rael. So just go to Facebook, try to find me. You'll enjoy it. I had Roe, my 1300 bull, buck me in my last McInnes minute. He nudged me. I mean, we're real. I'm just going to tell you, I'm a real farmer and I'm going to do real things for Alabama. We've got to get back to the basics. Just like Brooke and RFK have said, eat real food. Alabama, we've got to get real. We've got to start putting real food on the plates of our families and schools. And that's what I'm here to do. Follow along. It's a lot of fun. May 19th, I ask for the vote.
Yeah, May 19th. We always try and say that as often as we can, that in Alabama, the primary is the election.
It is.
And it really matters. Don't wait till the general. It's kind of too late. Not really. You still need to come out. But thank you so much for joining us. Keep us posted. We'll start asking some questions down in Montgomery because that doesn't make any sense.
No.
Appreciate you being here.
That's what we're here for.
Yep.
Let's make sense of the nonsense.
Snap the chicken.
Snap the
You
chicken.
need t-shirts.
We'd wear them.
Yeah, we would. We'll tell you the heifer story in the break.
Oh, I've got good heifer stories.
Oh, well, have you been called a heifer? Ever?
Yes, absolutely. I was born and raised on a farm.
Oh, well, we have too. It's
We're
a
in good
first.
company.
Yeah, she's one of us. We got to take a break. We'll be right back.
Who is out at FDA. Marty also cares deeply. We don't have a CDC director right now. The interim director is a man named Jim O'Neill. Jim is also the deputy secretary at HHS. Incredibly smart, incredibly strong, committed to life, committed to science. So those are the people I think about. I don't worry about Anthony Fauci. I don't want to think about Anthony Fauci. He did enough harm to this country. Yeah. I think about President Trump and our team now at HHS because we're doing amazing things.
You clearly are. So could we jump in then to those values issues that you've mentioned? Top of the list, right to life.
Yes.
And underneath that would be people's concern about mifepristone.
Sure.
Could you talk to us about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think, I'm 62 years old, turned 62 in December. This is the most pro-life administration that I've ever seen in my 6 decades plus of life. There's no question about it. The most pro-life administration that I've ever seen. I think the administration that is friendliest to religion and faith that I've ever seen. And President Trump has demonstrated that again and again. We stand for life. We stand for the fact that we know that life begins at conception. We respect life until life's natural end. We respect the dignity of the person. We want to make sure that we stand with individuals who believe those same things, and we do. The recent March for Life, you saw that Vice President Vance address the country. The next day, there was a breakfast that was basically for all of the youth, the young men and women who'd come into this country come into the city from across the country. There was a breakfast that morning. Jim O'Neill, the deputy secretary, and myself, we addressed those students, and there were over 2,000 people there. And we talked about the fact, what we're doing for life, the fact that we know little boys are little boys and little girls are little girls, the fact that we know life begins at conception, the fact that we are doing things like, for instance, through my office, the Office of the Assistant Secretary for Health, we administer the Title X funds. So let me tell you, so just recently, because of our oversight, directed by Secretary Kennedy, our oversight over Title X funds, $2.3 million of grants that had been given before us had to be returned by Planned Parenthood. $2.3 million that will no longer go to killing children. $2.3 million that will no longer go to lying to women. Because of our oversight, they gave that money back, which is a huge victory. Absolutely. We make sure that we're enforcing the Hyde Amendment. President Trump, Secretary Kennedy, and myself, we are strong for this. No federal dollars are going to go toward abortion or procuring abortion services. We are strong with the Hyde Amendment, and we are making sure the Hyde Amendment is being enforced, unlike the last administration.
Yes.
We have made sure that monies, that when you have youth, children or youths, young girls who are taken in custody coming across the border or something, that federal dollars cannot go to providing abortion services, because that was going on in the last administration. Just totally disregarding the Hyde Amendment. We stand strong. That's no longer happening. So for those right to life issues, we've been incredibly strong about that, and we're very vocal about that. Again, one of the things that impresses me most about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and he's always been this way, he really realizes that God has given an inherent dignity to every man, woman, and child, and we respect that dignity.
As an adopted person, and I know as an adoptive mother, we are so thankful for those policies. And as women who've lived through the nonsense, that the lies that have been heaped upon us, that you have to kill your child to have a life.
That's right.
We're very grateful for your stand in that regard.
It's again, all of this is a privilege, but we have to do it for the country. We have to do, and we have to remember too that all of the wins that we have in this administration and this Department of Health and Human Services, it only takes one election cycle for things to reverse. And so we can talk about this more later, but it's incredibly important for us as conservatives, for us as people of faith, to be motivated to vote in November, to get out, support those candidates who stand with President Trump and his agenda. It's going to be more important than it's ever been. I know every election it's like, this is the most important. So I'm not going to use that hyperbole, but this is an incredibly important election in November. So I want all of the people, all of the men and women who watch this podcast, who listen to this podcast, and there are so many, I want them all to know, tell your friends, tell your families, we've got to be out there supporting candidates in congressional districts and Senate races that support the president in November.
You posted recently about gender affirming care, gender dysphoria, and kind of your work, and you just mentioned, right to life. That I would agree that is a life issue. Were you surprised when the American Medical Association came out recently and said that gender affirming care, genital mutilation, all that should be put off till adulthood? And do you think that we're maybe turning a corner on all this?
I think that is I'm so glad you asked that question, because yes, so the American Medical Association is certainly backing away from its prior stance. It was the Academy of Plastic Surgeons. I think that's the right name. The Academy of Plastic Surgeons that said, and this is landmark, they said just this past week that we recommend that we don't do those mutilating surgeries, what we call the sex-rejecting surgeries on anybody under the age of 19. That is huge. That is huge. And I think we are turning this corner. We can never take our foot off the accelerator, because I like to say that gender theory is like a vampire. It'll come back. You may think you've killed it, but it'll come back in the next hostile administration. So we always have to keep our foot on the accelerator for this, and we are, and I am, and President Trump certainly is. But yeah, I hope that we've turned a corner. I really do. This really started with, again, science. So we released at HHS, we released something called the Gender Dysphoria Report, and that was back in the fall. We released this report that basically looked at all the science, and we said, no, the wrong way to treat these children is to perform castrating surgeries. The wrong way to treat these children is to use sex-rejecting chemicals and hormones. The right way to treat these children is with compassionate, competent mental health care. Now, personally, as a person of faith, I personally believe that if the child's parents want this, I think pastoral care is incredibly important to support these kids, right? But we initiated that report. The report was released, and then we did something even more. We had what was called the peer review of that report. So we invited scientists, not all of whom were aligned with us, to say, review this report. Tell us what you think. Put your politics aside and go by the science. And they had to say, you're right. The science backs up exactly what you're saying about this. So I think things like we're seeing with the plastic surgeons, things like hopefully we're going to be seeing more with the AMA, really the shot across the bow was the gender dysphoria report. Because, again, Secretary.
Welcome back to The Right Side. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. Hope you enjoyed our interview with Christina McInnes. Right? Did I say that right?
You did.
I did. I didn't have to look. So in this short segment, before we roll into the 11:30 break and do JP on Sports and Clown World, real quick, we want to put a bow on some of the news we haven't gotten to yet. Number one, the strange Netanyahu clip and the end of the world, ushering in the end of the world. And then a documentary that apparently, did it win an Oscar or it's up for an Oscar, about Alabama prisons. I'm going to watch it this weekend. I'm intrigued. We've never gotten great press on our prisons. I have no idea. But what do you guys think about those two things? First, with Netanyahu, what's your response to his comments?
Well, he says, again, and JP just told us that it might be AI. And I do always hate when things are translated because you never actually know. Not only may it have been AI, but who knows if the translation's correct. But he says, we will see, what does he say? We will see the return of the Messiah, but it won't be next Thursday.
Yeah. I don't
know what's happening if it's not the return of the Messiah. Something big is happening next Thursday. That's just, it's hard. Like, the Messiah already came.
Yep.
A few years ago.
Like 2000.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't know what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Just,
I mean, but what he was implying with that is, that's kind of the point of, and he actually implicated it later in his speech about how they want to dominate the Middle East and Iran's kind of the last chip to fall. And, but he is implying that this war is in the grand scheme to usher in their Messiah. But in the Christian faith, that would be called the Antichrist in this, because they want to rebuild the actual third temple. And, we read in the Bible that is where the Antichrist will reign, from the third temple in Israel. So, and by the way, on the AI accusation, there's some people are now going and saying that Netanyahu may be dead and that this is an AI video, because apparently, y'all don't have your iPad up over there, but there's 6 figures allegedly in the video. That this
6 figures or fingers?
Fingers, sorry, 6 fingers allegedly in the video. This picture right here is claiming that it's actually not 6 fingers, because there's a shadow, and I don't know if the AI claims are necessarily true, but that's been the main speculation with the video, is that he's got 6 fingers on one hand.
Well, this video is widely circulating on X for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about other platforms, but I saw it several times yesterday.
So I don't know. It was an official video put up by Israel, regardless, with the translation.
It was?
Yes. No, yeah, that was an official video by Netanyahu. So yeah, the translation was not that was their translation.
So whether it's real or not,
yes,
it is on his official account.
Yeah, that was broadcasted on Israeli news. Yeah.
Oh, snap. Not Snap the chicken, but snap.
Was that also a taunt to Iran? What?
I think that was
a major come and get us. Or am I reading that wrong?
Oh, I don't think so, because Iran's supreme leader is apparently disfigured right now and put up a non-video statement. And I think Netanyahu was intentional to do a video statement. So, yeah.
Okay. Because you get doing what we're doing and you think, am I reading this correctly?
I think that was, I wish I knew what was happening next Thursday, that he singled out Thursday.
Is there a high holy day on a calendar?
Maybe.
I don't know. I think he was just saying whoa, it's not going to happen next Thursday. I think he just said it.
Just threw it out. It was just
the Messiah's not going to come back next Thursday, so we got to fight the war.
It
diligently.
might be next Friday, though.
It could be.
Wednesday,
We're going to have
maybe?
Wednesday.
A feast.
Wednesday.
Who knows? Wednesday.
What was the other thing?
Steve Marshall.
We can talk about it.
Do you want to talk about first on the other side? Get into sports.
Yeah.
Fun world.
Oh, I forgot about JP on sports. I'm
Can't
excited.
wait.
Okay. On the other side, the right side, we'll talk about Steve Marshall and sports. We'll be back.
This is JP here with Rightside. I need to remind you that Inspire Advisors is one of our sponsors, and they are doing amazing work. We know this audience, and you're the kind of folks who believe in standing up for your principles and being good stewards of your resources. What if the companies you're invested in don't reflect your values at all? That's why you need to meet Paul Breyer and his team at Inspire Advisors. Inspire Advisors, they are experts in the field of biblically responsible investing. They can help you grow your bottom line while also being proud of what companies you invest in. Inspire Advisors, you got to go check them out. Here's their website, www.moneypatternwealth.com, and tell them you heard about it on Rightside Radio.
Has always said we use gold standard science to guide our decisions. That's gold standard science. Those kind of things, sex rejecting surgeries, horrible chemicals and mutilations, that's not the way to treat these kids. I am not going to take my foot off the accelerator on this because, like I said, it is a vampire. If we don't stake it through the heart and if we don't kill this whole gender theory, it's going to come back in the next hostile administration. No question about it. So we're doing great things with that. And that, as far as values, very important to the president, very important to the vice president, very important to Secretary Kennedy and myself.
Can I ask a follow-up question real quick?
Yeah.
Don't forget what you were about to say.
Okay.
So RFK's ideas, like inverting the food pyramid, are seen as kind of controversial. Some of his suggestions on treatments and things like that. To me, there's more science behind what he's saying than what we've been told for all these years. Yeah. I think now, especially after COVID, we're seeing, wait a second, have we been lied to? You're all changing the vaccine schedule for childhood vaccines is huge. But how do you balance that? And do you see much pushback? Because you're saying gold standard science, but a lot of it, people are like, this is new to them.
Well, you know, science is dynamic.
Right.
It's not static. Science changes over time. I'm a physician. I'm a surgeon. I'm a scientist. The way I do things, and I've closed my practice to be in this job, but the way I did things, for instance, in 2025 when I was still practicing, were very different than I was trained 20 years earlier or even 10 years earlier because science is dynamic and changes. And that's what Secretary Kennedy has said. What he has said is we always follow the science, but we have to be nimble enough and we have to be honest enough to say that if the science leads us in a different direction than it has in the past, that we are brave enough and we care enough about this country to make those changes. And that's exactly what you're seeing. You know, you mentioned about the vaccines. I mean, let me be very clear about this. And this, I'm glad you brought this up, Allison, because this is very important. Secretary Kennedy has not taken a vaccine away from anyone. Despite what the lying left will tell you, he has not taken a vaccine away from anyone. Now, what he has said is that we want people to decide what's right for themselves. Yes. We want parents to decide what's right for their kids. We want to put knowledge in their hands so they can make the best decision for them. He has not taken a vaccine away from anyone or anybody. Vaccines are still available. We did look at the recommendations, what the vaccine, the child vaccine schedule should be. And it wasn't just this was willy-nilly. No, what happened is the president said we need to look at this. And so what did we do? We went and we compared the vaccine schedule for children for other countries, other peer countries, countries like ourselves, advanced countries, and said, what are they doing? And we looked and found out that what we were doing was not in line, and they had good science backing them up. So all we did was we went from 17 to 10 vaccinations recommended, but we're not preventing anybody from getting a vaccine. What we've simply done is look at the science and say, this is what the science suggests. So Robert F. Kennedy has not pulled vaccines from anybody. He's not preventing anybody from getting a vaccine. He's simply saying, Mom and Dad, you make the decision for your kids. What we're not going to have in this administration is a government forcing and mandating vaccines into our bodies or medicines down our throat or advocating for cutting our children's body parts off for some left radical, really sick ideology.
I mean, we talk about all the time the regret we have. Like, in
Awful.
what world is it a good idea to take your 6-week-old and get jabbed with 4 different chemicals in one? I mean, but we trusted our doctors, and I think our doctors were just doing what they were told in medical school based on science. So very grateful for that, because I feel like Abs and I are always like, we need to go apologize to our kids.
We really
should
do.
know better.
Well, I think it's, again, we have to be led by science, like I said, but we have to empower patients. I mean, as a surgeon, I lived and died by informed consent. I had patients who I said, maybe I diagnosed a prostate cancer. And I said, here's your treatment options, sir. Here's what I think is best. Here's the options. What's right for you? And if they made a decision that I disagreed with, I didn't abandon them. I said, I respect you. We respect people's right, or we respect their intellect to make a decision for themselves. It's all about informed consent. What you will never see this administration, and what you will never see me or Secretary Kennedy or Dr. Oz or Dr. Bhattacharya, you'll never see us try to force our personal agenda on people. We'll always be guided by science, and
Welcome back to the Right Side. We're rolling into the last half hour of this Friday, and we have a lot to get to. I am Amy Beth. She's Allison Sinclair and JP. But right before JP on sports, we have a quick little conversation. And this has to do with the Alabama solution, which is, I don't know, Andrew Jarecki, who used an appearance on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon to promote his film, The Alabama Solution, said he invited Steve Marshall to join him at the Oscars. That's a whole thing. Whatever. This is a great piece in Yellowhammer. But Steve Marshall wasn't exactly receptive to the offer to go to the Oscars. And he actually didn't really enjoy the movie, saying that it was a biased film because this film was made by smuggling contraband cell phones to convicted felons in Alabama prisons.
Well, you can't get into the prisons. And the premise was, it says it exposes the inhumane conditions inside Alabama's prisons. It goes on to talk about how there were rats in, this is from an AL.com article, but let's see, leaking sewage, rats captured in water bottles, inmates sleeping on the floors of overcrowded dorms, people overdosing without medical attention, and blood scattered across tile floors, and more. So they smuggled, I guess, these cell phones in, which is a problem in and of itself. And these inmates recorded it and sent back some of the conditions. And so Jarecki invited KIV and Steve Marshall to the Oscar, what's it called?
It'll
the
be
event.
Yeah,
the
it's
Oscar,
this
the
weekend,
Oscars
right?
on Sunday night. He didn't hear back until, I guess, Steve Marshall said, you keep your Oscars. I'm paraphrasing. You keep your Oscars and we'll keep Alabama going, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty well known the Alabama prison system has some issues. So
Yeah.
I don't know what he's trying to downplay or deny here, because it's not like the videos they sent are fake. They may have gotten in a not the best way, but there's a reason they won't let people into the prisons. Like, I think it's really hard even for government officials to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say earlier? You said, I'm not for country club prisons, but maybe not rats on the floor.
Yeah.
Or,
basically,
I mean, rats in water bottles and blood on the floor.
I have visited, and the jail that I visited was with a group, and we were able to get in. And after we were done with the visit, and the jail was clean, not a whole lot of privacy to go to the bathroom, but you're dealing with people who've been arrested. So I'm not sure about the whole privacy thing, but we did go downstairs and we did eat some of their food. And I did see a roach crawling across the buffet line food. I saw it with my own eyes and I was like, well, I am not going to eat. So we are not known for that. I agree. Probably the only way to get in the prison is to smuggle in those phones. But how else is anybody going to tell the rest of us this is what it's actually like so that we can make improvements? But as long as I've been alive, we have never been known for how well we treated our inmates, ever.
I guess there's a line because, then the Alabama legislature, I think it was a constitutional amendment as well. Yeah, I think we had to vote on it to where they couldn't force prisoners to work because it was a form of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
So there's some sort of balance there. Yeah, we're not asking for country club, but but maybe not leaking sewage into. I don't know. Is that too much to ask?
And some are worse than others. Some are fine. Some are known for being awful. So maybe we should do a little investigating of those and handle it. That's all. Like, it's not hard. It's just, do we have the stomach to handle and do what needs to be done while keeping them reminded that you have been arrested for a crime and you will do your time.
I just don't think that's the best messaging out of the Attorney General's office, and I could be wrong, or the governor's office. Like, I don't think that's the best response.
Yeah, I think no response would have been better.
Yeah,
agree.
Because
just don't say anything.
Yeah, obviously, it's probably not smart for Steve to go to the Oscars. Like, that's
yeah.
And I think they probably expected him to say no, but to make it seem like there's not an issue and it was misrepresented is
and you don't care,
right? And what was his quote? You keep the Oscars, we'll keep our values, or something like that. So probably, I don't think KIV even made a response or anything at all. So probably would behoove Steve and his office to not say anything.
Kind of weird. Are you gonna watch it?
Yeah, I'm gonna volunteer.
It's on the HBOs.
Okay, we need to take turns of who watches what. So like,
I have to watch The Bride of Charlie.
Well,
please.
no,
I got 10 minutes in.
Yeah, Amy Beth did 10 minutes of that. So like, maybe we take turns whenever there's something we should watch but don't want to.
And maybe look, if everybody wants to watch it, let's watch it. But I'm gonna watch it on the HBOs this weekend, and I'm gonna make sure my husband watches it with me so that we can be fair and objective about it.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right.
JP on Sports.
Is it time?
It's time.
JP on Sports.
So this story has not been talked about enough, in my opinion. Have y'all seen what's been going on with the Iranian women's soccer team?
A little bit, but not much.
So the Iranian women's soccer team went to participate in the Asian World Cup, I believe. Yeah, the Asian Cup. And this took place in Australia. So yeah, it doesn't make much sense.
Okay.
But so obviously everybody knows why Iran's in the news right now, because there's currently a war taking place. But 5 of the players on the team, the captain, and then 4 others, they defected and did not say the national anthem or sing the national anthem when it was being played. And obviously this was not received well from the Iranian regime, because I believe it's technically illegal to not do that. So now they are seeking asylum in Australia. Australia has granted them asylum, in the meantime. But the problem is, so they are now out of the cup. They lost. The issue is, though, their families back home, they could be hurt in this process if they don't go back home. Also, there's the fact that it's a war zone right now over there. So they're kind of going into a not very safe environment as a whole. But Iran is saying that the police is going to make sure that they come back. They come back home, and they're going to face punishment, obviously. And like I said, the part of, if they don't come back home, will their families be injured? Will their, be hurt? It's a really bizarre situation and a scary situation. But here's the part that is funny to me. Where's all of the feminist crowd, like the Megan Rapinoes, the soccer players who, love to virtue signal about everything and appear to be pro-woman and pro-feminism? It's just kind of right up their alley to say something and speak out, but they haven't said a peep at all, which doesn't really surprise me, but it is indicative of they don't really care about that, really. But very brave of the woman to not sing the anthem and to speak out essentially against the regime. So hopefully they can stay protected in Australia. But yeah, the main story, in my opinion, is why is the story not getting coverage? Where's the feminists? Where's the,
well, are they lesbians?
No.
Okay, they should identify as that, and then, or like transgender. Then they would be saved and championed. And
yeah, maybe if they were gay and had purple hair and septum rings, maybe they'd be protected. Or
well, I guess they'd be dead in Iran. they wouldn't have even made it to the soccer game.
You do worry for their families.
Yeah.
They won't hesitate to hurt them. But I truly believe and hope that Australia will give them asylum permanently, because if they go home, they'll kill you.
Right. Yeah. Australia has given them humanitarian visas, which gives them the right to live, work, and study in Australia. And then maybe they seek permanent citizenship past that point. And President Trump actually talked to the Australian leadership about this, and to hope that they protect them. But it's just, it's another reminder, like, the Iranian regime. Yeah, we speculate and talk about how we think America should handle it, but the bottom line is Iran is a authoritarian, theocratic, fascist regime that is anti-woman in every. I mean, not just Iran, but Islam is. But props to these women who spoke up and did what they did. I hope that they're protected in the long term, but this story needs more attention, in my opinion. And it's not getting any attention, I think, from mainstream news in America for some reason. This seems right up CNN's alley and right up the left's alley, and they're not even touching it. Why? Because are they so pro-Iran and anti-America that they are not going to speak up for it? Does this not fall within their agenda or something that they're running the virtue signal over? I guess not.
But why? Okay. If you're wanting out, why would you do it in such a public way? Like, just run away and go disappear.
Protest against the regime.
I mean, I guess, but you're asking to be unalived and unaccounted for, and you're putting your face. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, I respect it. What? Or
is it exactly as you've said, and they have to do it this way so that their faces are out there, and when they are unalived, they'll say, wait, you took out those girls?
Maybe it's actually protection. So if they go missing now, people are going to start asking questions.
Also, why isn't it sad that we have to use the word unalived now?
You don't have to.
No, but I love the phrase
unalived.
But have you noticed in the last year or so, it's really unalived?
I do it tongue in cheek because it's so politically correct.
Yes, it is very politically correct.
Vertically challenged.
It's kind of funny.
Non-existing.
Even though it's not funny.
Non-existing? Does that mean dead too?
Yeah.
Okay.
The opposite of living.
You've been killed.
Yeah, it's I kind of, like I said, like would have expected a lot more from the feminist crowd to talk about this story, but I guess if you're not lesbian or if you're not woke or purple hair or septum ring or whatever, then it doesn't fall within their virtue signal range.
Yeah,
which is crazy to me.
Agree.
Also, we got Auburn is probably out of the NCAA tournament now. Because there is the SEC tournament in Nashville, and so it's been a big debate: Miami of Ohio or Auburn, who's going to get in? Miami of Ohio went undefeated during the whole regular season, 31-0. However, their strength of schedule and who they played was not, really impressive. So they were still on the bubble. Now Miami of Ohio lost in the first round of their conference tournament, which hurts Auburn. If Auburn would have kept winning in the SEC tournament, then that's one thing. They lost to Tennessee. But now, so the conference that Miami of Ohio is in, Miami of Ohio is probably going to get in, and the conference champion from that conference, because, that's the rules. So that's two teams that get in, and it looks like Auburn is now boxed out completely. But that is the main debate right now. Will Auburn get in? Because Auburn does have a win at Florida this year, which is one of the best wins in college basketball. Will that give them the nod or not?
That was clearly a fluke. I've always thought the name, the University of Miami, Ohio, that's just lame. It's stupid. It's confusing. But let them have it. We need to regroup.
Did y'all see the video of Bruce Pearl at the game yesterday?
No, but I kept seeing things about it. What did he do? Oh,
What did he do?
Oh,
What did he do?
I could show y'all, send it off air, but he was just like effing, but like yelling. I think he was yelling at the refs, but he was in the stands and he was like, "That's effing bull." Like in front of all these kids and these people sitting right behind the Auburn bench.
Well, he's been so quiet and so good the whole season, like kind of to where you're like, are you just letting him sink on his own? Like throw him a line. And now he comes out with this.
But not only that, he's going and saying how he got his son the job with nepotism. And so,
Zip it, Bruce. Zip it.
It's been a weird few weeks for.
I still don't understand what happened and why they fell apart so spectacularly. Because it looked like at the beginning they were going to be okay. And then they weren't. And I'm sad for them because I like Auburn basketball.
Yeah.
I really do.
Made me disconnect from college basketball. I guess I did pretty well in my bracket last year because I knew what was going on. This year, I'm choosing by, I'll have to think. But it's not going to be based on analysis and in-depth knowledge. Might be colors, might be favorite player names, might be funniest player names.
Well, I'll say this, and then we got to get to Clown World for the end of the show.
Oh, wait, we got to get the iPad.
Yeah, y'all do.
Oh.
But I'll say this. So I went to the iBob in Tuscaloosa last weekend. So when I went my freshman year of college, and Auburn was really good. They were like a top 5 team when they played.
Yeah, we were.
So many Auburn fans there. They had their little corner up there because it's a lot easier to get into Alabama games because of the size of the arena, whatever. And then last year, 1 versus 2, my brother was there. It was like there had to have been like 8,000 Auburn fans like in the stadium. Like Auburn fans normally show out for the iBob in Tuscaloosa. I maybe counted 20 Auburn fans at the game. Oh, it was bad.
No.
It was bad, okay? There was no Auburn fans there at all.
We're just beat down. Okay, it's been a long few years in football. We thought we had basketball, and now, well, we don't.
And typically, like, even at the Alabama Stadium, they do, like, you know how they do the AU after every free throw they make? You know, we can hear it.
AU?
Nothing.
Really?
No.
Nothing?
There was nobody.
Oh, by the way, I know we've got to get to this. What does Auburn do? Do y'all do this on free throws? Do y'all do this and this? Like, what's the vibe? Or do we do nothing on the free throws?
Couldn't tell you.
Talking about Alabama?
Auburn. What's Auburn do?
Hey, you.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then that tell you what. Okay, what's Alabama do? Do they do the class? They do nothing.
Nah.
They're like, we're so good, we don't have to do any of that clapping.
Wait, you know what we do? We
You're so funny, JP. So funny. All right.
Anyway,
on that note,
wait. We gotta say who JP on Sports is brought by everyone first.
Oh,
which is Paul Breyer and his team at Inspire Advisors.
Paul.
If you want to go check
Hey,
out
you.
Inspire Advisors, they will help get you right. They got this thing called biblically responsible investing, where they make sure your portfolio is in line with your Christian values and you're not investing in any woke, anti-Christian companies while also growing your bottom line. So you need to go check them out. That's Paul Breyer, Inspire Advisors. Their website is moneypatternwealth.com. That's moneypatternwealth.com. You got to go check them out today and see what they can do for you.
Today, Junior.
thanks, Paul.
And now it's time for Clown World.
So this is something I'm starting this semester to help with inclusivity in the classroom, making sure students feel comfortable. So on our first day, I made a simple Google form asking some information. It asks a preferred name or nickname, preferred pronouns. It asks, is this safe for me to use when I call or email home? For this one, I crossed out that name. That's their dead name. They don't want that used anymore. So we're going to go by their preferred name. That way somebody else that walks into my classroom doesn't even know what it is and doesn't call them by the wrong name. And then this one, hypothetically, they said no. And so we would know if we were calling home, we would never use that name, and we would need to use the name that's in the official system. But
Moms for Liberty, please. They are a terrorist group. And Mr. Speaker, I would suggest to you that what I just said has been widely used in publications.
What?
The phrase Christ is King is being used. Look, I agree with the statement, Christ is King. Although it is being used online in a way that is meant to say, screw you, Jew. Christ is King is, I hate the Jew. Jesus was a Jew.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Hello, Alabama. This is Pastor Jermaine Brown, Democratic candidate for governor of the great state of Alabama. A lot of people, they're mad because I said once I am in the governor's office that, look, this is going to be my house. And we're going to bring fun back to Alabama.
Yeah,
we're going to have Wasted Wednesdays, Twerk Tuesdays, Thirsty Thursdays, Freaking Fridays. We're going to have a good time. I am Pastor Jermaine Brown, and I approve this message.
You missed the best part. Okay, so I follow Governor Brown.
Governor?
Yeah.
Governor.
On the Instagrams. And on that one, he goes on to say, it's really weird. He says, after Twerk Tuesday, Wasted Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, and Freaky Friday, then he says, and we're going to have church here on Saturday.
Yep.
Saturday church?
Is he a
He's
Seventh-day Adventist?
What?
Yeah. Yeah. That's who he is.
What?
Yeah. So.
Okay, I really do want to get him on this. I have his number. I want to get him on the show. I've reached out to Doug Jones, and Doug Jones won't call me back.
He won't?
Well, his handler won't call me back. So, I mean, he's just going to have to be the representative of the Democratic Party.
I mean, he is the leading candidate for the Democratic governor's race.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
Have you
The
seen
candidate.
his 20 things he wants to do?
Oh, my stars.
I
haven't.
What? Hold, please.
Oh, yeah.
I will sign 20 executive orders to put the people of Alabama first. Number 1.
Oh, dear.
Numero uno.
Legalize and tax, because this is important, marijuana for personal use. Pardon nonviolent offenders. Eliminate state tax on groceries. Okay. Legalize and tax the lottery. Everybody gets. No. You only get $3,000 checks if you make under $100,000. Legalize sex stores.
Oh my!
That's number 8. Number 9. Bring prayer back in schools.
He's playing both sides.
I mean, he's balanced.
He's balanced.
Make.
Oh my word!
All right. Bring prayer back in schools. Number 10. Invest in Alabama businesses. Number 11. Pay raise for all state employees. And number 12. Make Montgomery a strip club city.
That's what on his form?
Yeah.
So he would have wanted to go to the Atlanta Hawks Magic City night.
Oh
my goodness.
Yeah, it goes on and on.
Raise minimum wage to $25 an hour.
That's great. You put everybody out of business.
3-month grace period for utility bills. I love how 15 just says support our veterans. How do you do it? Like
SMH, guys.
I don't know, but I do appreciate that he sprinkles in the strip clubs and the marijuana. Like it's not so you kind of gloss over it because it's in between some really good things like no tax on groceries.
At least he's honest about who he is.
Hey, that's a great point, Abs. I can almost deal with that better.
Do you think he's doing a bit, or is he actually like?
Oh, I think he thinks he's going to be the next governor. You? I do.
He probably does think that, actually.
No, I really do. He does some polling and he says he's winning. We're getting him on. Is that a bad idea?
It's an idea.
It's an idea.
Is that bad? Look,
probably
we are here to bring information to voters. We're not here to we debate the things and we talk about the things. And if you want to,
isn't there like that standard where you have to have a certain amount, a certain ratio to get on the stage in debates?
Well,
maybe
we didn't abide by that on the forum.
No, we didn't. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, moving forward, maybe. I don't know. Okay.
Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
100 duck-sized horses. Duck-sized horse?
Yeah, give me 100 duck-sized horses. If you got one big duck, he will just
You're dead.
You're done.
No, can you imagine all the kicking you'd have to do to get those little horses away?
You could just fling them with your rutabaga.
No, and then they could donkey kick you, horse kick you. That hurt. That hurt. You would die.
Yeah,
You
but-
could use carrots at them to
Have you
get
ever
them
had to deal
go
with
away.
a rooster? One rooster.
Oh, roosters is crazy.
And you want 100 duck horses?
Yeah.
Yeah, but imagine that duck the size of a
Big,
horse.
giant duck.
And he could
Just,
just like,
swallow you up.
you'd have to like find the opening and
All right, let me end the show.
Okay.
Because
stop.
We're ending it how we started.
Exactly.
Y'all have a great weekend. We got a big announcement coming on Monday, so tune back in on the right side.